I don't know. Hey, anybody out there? It's kind of soon. But if am I upside down? Am I right side up? Let me know. Before I go any further, I want to talk about some of the comic books and influences that I've had as far as growing up and illustrating. So I'm gonna kick you here for a second and wait for people to come in before I get started. But anybody who's gonna watch this later, I don't want to just sit here and not do nothing until someone comes in. So if you watch this later, you get to check this out before the active viewer, I guess. These are basically panel designs. I'm not gonna talk about them. I'm just gonna flip through them just to show you that a lot of work goes into before you actually draw the panel itself. You gotta study what you're gonna put down before you put it down. And they look like they're finished, but they're really not. So if you're the type of person who wants to draw and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna sit down and draw something and expect it to come out right the first time, you got another thing coming. The only reason why it's gonna come out right the first time is because you put this type of work into it beforehand. I mean, that's how it's been from my experience, so. Sometimes you do. Sometimes it does come out right the first time. But I guarantee you, put this much work, it always comes out right the first time. Because it's not the first time, it's the outcome of a bunch of iterations you thought about before. So yeah, here's a little tip. No mollycoddling. Hey, welcome. How's it going there? Welcome to my channel. I sit here and talk about comic books, and you just left the room. So I'll wait for another person to come in. This must not have been your type of content. That's okay. But yeah, we're going to talk about Nexus. For those of you who will be watching this later, the legendary Steve the Rude Dude Rude. All right, this is one of the major influences. You might not see it in my work, but I'm going to tell you how Steve has influenced my work in a particular story that I'm writing right now, drawing, which is the last few videos I put out. Am I upside down? Let me know from upside down. From upside down, I will stop this and restart later. There's 2 people in here. Can anyone give me a hand? Am I upside down? Are you speak English? No? All right, well, then I'm just going to make this video purely for future viewers. Steve Rude, check him out. Look how elegant this guy's work is. So polished. I mean, look how amazing these lines are. So clean. All right, and this is 1979. All right. This book was published so many years ago, and today there are artists and illustrators who cannot hang with this guy. And he's still around. He's making his cartoon right now. And if you're familiar with Steve Rude, if you're not, please go subscribe. He's amazing. He's been around, and he's a master of what he does. He might not say so, but I will attest to it. I mean, look at this stuff. This is ahead of its time. You might see some influences right here. You can see a little Calvin and Hobbes, Bill Watterson. At least he was a fan back in the day when he did this. And I don't know. Who knows? I don't even know if Bill Watterson was around in 1979. He might have been the catalyst for to be honest with you. I'm noticing that right now. I don't think Bill Watterson came out until the 80s. Oh shit, I just discovered something. That looks a lot like Calvin. And his influencers, I mean, it just looks like Steve Rude. I mean, I could say Alex Toth. Steve Rude will probably say that himself. lot of influence from Alex Toth. You can see a little Ramita, right? You can see, I see Paul Gulacy. The only reason why I say that is because Rude talks a lot about Paul Gulacy, and I never put it together before, but when I look at it, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of storytelling. I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 panels on a page, right? Who does that these days? You find a lot of 4-panel pages. 9 panels? Now, that's something attributed to the 70s, Paul Gulacy, and prior illustrators. And Steve Rude is, he comes from that school where, listen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 9 panels a page is not a, well, I don't want to say it's not hard work. It's harder work than doing 4 pages, but it's not something they will not do in order to make sure the story beats are correct. And you're on that page flip, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 panels, man. See? Yeah, here's the, right there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another 7-panel page. Who does that? At least these days. Everybody wants to get away with minimal panels as possible. I don't know if that's because they want to prolong the story, which is actually build suspense and everything as well. And manga does that a lot. But in this case, you're getting the story, and the story beats are still really nice. I think the stories are more intricate. It's less about character, more about moving the story as fast as possible. And that, you know, a lot of that has to go with sales, but these days they'll take advantage of the suspense. 4 panels on the page flip is crazy, but look at this. Look how beautifully rendered it is, too. He's got background in every page, right? And you might say, you might find a panel where there is no background, right? Like, let's say this right here. But even in this panel, where he can't even afford to use a background, right? As far as the real estate's concerned, you see, he puts in something in the background, even still, just to remind you that it all counts. You still want to be in the same space, right? So you see right here, we have an establishing shot where we have the exterior of the city, little peacock roaming around, this little palace in the background, and this guy just sitting here feeding him. And then we enter, I guess, this palace back here. We see the girl. You can see the background in this panel, background in that. Who does that these days, right? Steve Rude can still do it these days, but even back then, he took all of this into consideration. Look at this. And it's so readable because it's so clean, right? It's not cluttered. It's just elegant, man. Look at that. Look at that line. This pen line is just... It is confident. There's nothing sketchy or jittery about it. It's just clean and smooth, elegant, and like I said, the backgrounds are... And a lot of this looks like he had to have done it from life. Somebody, like he had somebody pose for him, but at the same time, he's that good, you know, that it can also look like he didn't have somebody posing in front of him, because that's a lot of work. You know, you got to hire somebody or get a friend to do it, but still, it doesn't look like his friends can do this kind of stuff, so it's amazing. I'm going to go through this whole comic book. It's not very large right now. I'm on page 16. But yeah, just to check it out. Just to give the shout-outs, Steve Rude, Mike Barron, the author of this particular story. And yeah, this is actually 1986, my bad. 1979 was the Paul Gulacy book I was talking about. So yeah, 1986, sorry about that. I didn't mean to age you, Steve. Number 27 of Nexus Comics here. So yeah, I apologize for that mix-up there. 1986, I was a young lad at the time. But look at this. Look at this crowd scene. Who? On you say, okay, that's a third of a page. He's got a crowd scene, like an epic, on a third of a page. A lot of times, people these days they'll need the space of like a double page spread in order to get that information. But he's got it here on a third of a page. It's to a scale. Look at that scale. Wow. And even on this page, you have camels. All kinds of. Look at this. Are you kidding me? That bird's eye view. He's got foreground, midground, and background working. Right, he's not skipping a beat. Even his midground shots have something like really close in the foreground, maybe blurred out or silhouetted. Steve Rude is one of the greats, man. A living legend, right? You don't get too many of these guys. I mean, we have a nice amount, but right now we're going to focus on Mr. Rude here because he's the dude. Look at this. This is what you want in any comic book or sequential storytelling abilities, man. This guy is... He's not playing with you, man. We can all strive to attain this level of proficiency, mastery, and just amazing storytelling. Look at this. He saved, right? These days, the second page will have like a big, just to give you a lot more punch. This guy saved it. He saved it, right? He waited. Let me see here. And in this way, you're not oversaturated with these big, giant pages. It's almost like it's a reward for going through all the other pages, which are beautiful nonetheless. I mean, come on, man. Come on. But then he gives you this blah, blah. All right, and we know something's going on here, even if we're not reading the dialogue. Right. Steve Rude is one of those guys who could illustrate a story. You don't even have to read the dialogue. No shade to Mike Barron, but check it out. Yeah, man. And I'm not sure who this artist is here. But we're not here to talk about this guy. I like it though. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, we're checking out Mr. Rude. Anyways. I think, I'm only 13 minutes, but we've gone through this book right here, and I just wanted to talk about Steve. And, yeah, I'm probably going to kick it out of here, set up so I can draw a little later, little live stream. Not too many people out here today. But that's all good. Hope you enjoyed this if you're watching live, and if you check this out later, then yeah, man, Steve Rude. Go check him out, subscribe. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Peace.